JPMorgan is responsible for the biggest crash we had this year and for the biggest liquidation that happened in 10 October 2025. $19 billion in 24 hours, bigger than the COVID crash and bigger than the FTX crash in 2025. How did that happen? Well, they first started selling all the MicroStrategy shares, creating a dump in the MicroStrategy shares price, creating uncertainty. And also, if you add the uncertainty of US and China with the geopolitical and economic war, and also the Fed uncertainty about the interest rates, if they will cut or not in December, because that's what Fed said back in October, the missing liquidity in the market, that was the perfect timing to manipulate the market. And that's exactly what happened. And we saw the drop of Bitcoin price from $126,000, that was a new all-time high, down to 80,000. And just 48 hours ago, JPMorgan announced that now you can invest on their note, which is a competitive product to MicroStrategy, creating the uncertainty around MicroStrategy and possible liquidations, these rumors, etc. So now it's a big fight in the Wall Street between MicroStrategy, JPMorgan, and Morgan Stanley about who will get actually the biggest buy in the market. And meanwhile, these guys, and has also a history of how they manipulated the market before as well.
On September 12th, Jamie Dimon says Bitcoin is a fraud. He says he'll fire any one of his traders buying Bitcoin. Bitcoin drops 24%. When Jamie Dimon speaks, people listen. People listen. So that weekend, we found out that the largest buyer of a Bitcoin fund that's in Europe that buys physical Bitcoin, right? The largest buyer was Morgan Stanley and JPMorgan. And that's not illegal.
He says it's a fraud.
It says you fire anyone that buys it. Yes.
And at the same time, his company is buying it.
His company is buying it.
It's just, so unethical.
Meanwhile, these guys are playing dirty. You must probably have uncertainty about the Bitcoin price or altcoins, about what they're going to do in the future. And that's the trick, and that's exactly how the Wall Street manipulates the market, and you should not be victim of it. So I'm telling you this information so you are aware, you got to know what is happening in the market, so you don't need to be fooled and stay there just waiting about what these guys will do and when BTC will go up to buy more. No, when the fear and greed hits the roof, when you see blood on the streets, is the best time to DCA or to go all in the market. Always. You can just check this indicator on the CoinMarketCap or anywhere in the internet. You can see here that any time that Bitcoin is down to extreme fear, it was the best time to get all in into BTC. And of course, every time when we have extreme greed in the market is the best time to exit the market. So simply just stay out of the noise in the market. And we saw that just right after that dip, JPMorgan came out predicting Bitcoin price going to 240,000 because of the macroeconomics. And then also JPMorgan predicting that Fed will cut the interest rates in December, so creating more hope and interest and enthusiasm in the market. So suddenly Bitcoin goes from 80,000 that was down there to $92,000 till at least the moment that I'm shooting this video. And of course announces immediately just right after that their note, which is competitive to MicroStrategy right now in the market. So this is just a pure manipulation and economic war in the Wall Street about who's going to get the biggest buy of the Bitcoin, nothing else. Meanwhile, you should focus on accumulating more Bitcoin. This is my personal opinion, not a financial or investment advice, because that's what I do. And if somebody asks my opinion, that would be clearly, and that's what I'm doing personally. I'm stacking more Bitcoin by buying and also by loaning against BTC, buying miners and mining myself in Ethiopia, in United States, and also looking to expand in more countries as well through my Bitcoin mining company, bitmernmining.com. You can check more about it. And of course, if you have a substantial capital, you can also invest with us. We offer hosting and management to our VIP clients. If you have a substantial amount of investment, you can check out in our website. And meanwhile, all of these crazy things are happening. I'm pretty sure that you guys are worried about or concerned about what is going to happen from now on with the market, when the altcoins will give this profit that we all expected. So actually, we have 0 to 30 indicators, as it's clearly stated here and analyzed pretty well, about bull run. In 2025, we did not have a bull run. Based on the macroeconomic indicators and the cycles of the 4 years, we should have had at least 2 runs in 2025, one early this year and one in the end of the year, and we did not have any of it. So that means that actually we should have this in 2026, first in the early of the 2026 and also then by the end of 2026. So right now the market is very uncertain and is from these factors that are not easy predictable. It was way easier to predict in 2023 and 2026 because that time Wall Street, Fed and the Democrats in US are kind of united and they move the markets coordinated together. So this year was a kind of war between Fed Trump, Democrats, Wall Street manipulating, and it's a chaos. But this chaos is a short-term distraction for the retail investors, because that's what exactly also you want if you really just understand the rules of the game. You only need to know what's happening in the market, and the uncertainty is your best friend. Uncertainty gives you the biggest opportunities for long-term run. You need to take advantage of the uncertainty and the big dips. And right now we saw a huge dip from 126 to 80,000 was a huge dip in the market. Honestly, if I just see the market negativity, I understand it, but honestly for me is the best opportunity to take advantage of. And I don't buy the that people say online. I don't buy that MicroStrategy will fail, will get liquidated. MicroStrategy have $56 billion in equity and $6 billion in loans. So don't get fooled. See exactly, if you want to know what is happening with MicroStrategy, you can see about liquidation, not liquidation, all that you can just put in ChatGPT and you can get some simple data on that. Or if you are good with the financial analysis, you can just check exactly what products they have launched and see what are the risks or whatever you want to see. There's no risk of liquidation so far with MicroStrategy. Don't get fooled from the rumors that people spell out, because the majority of the people actually, they don't even understand exactly what MicroStrategy is doing and how it's pulling in all that liquidity to invest in BTC. And don't get fooled that, oh, BTC will go very down and all this that people are saying. If it goes down, it's a blessing. For me, I hope it goes down. And personally, I can go as extreme as saying that I hope Bitcoin get attacks from the quantum computers, because I know that will be blood in the street, uncertainty, sell-offs. I'm like, yes, bring it here to me. I will take full advantage to accumulate as much as possible. And of course, I know that next day or maximum few days or maybe weeks, the developer community will handle everything, will create a quantitative resisting shield for attacks, for future attacks, and prevent that. And they can fork, as Andreas Antonopoulos stated, they can fork Bitcoin and bring it back as it was. They can be recovered, even losses, if that was possible happening. But I know pretty well that that will create a huge bump in the Bitcoin price. That would be beautiful. That would be a huge opportunity. And some people probably doesn't understand that the quantum computer, it cannot be created from scammers here left and right. It can be created only from big corporates and governments, because it needs huge power and computing preparation. You can just see something on YouTube to have an idea about what does it mean a quantum computer, which means that cannot be some random people creating and hacking all this stuff. So just, to have some common sense. Anyway, don't get distracted with all of this thing. Just try to stack as much as you can. And honestly, even as an extra safety, I personally have machines there which always will have a value there and will keep printing money, in this case Bitcoin for me, every single day 24/7 and generate money instead of getting distracted from the market right now. So that's all I got for this video. Hope it was helpful, guys. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel for more videos like this in the future, and let me know down below in the comments if you have any question or your opinion about what I said in this video, and see you in the next video.